to you. You. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Won't you share with a friend or two? Good morning. Good morning to you. You. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. You. Good morning. Good morning to you. And many more. And many more. And many more. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Daring Dialogues. I'm your host today, Shantae Charles. I want to thank you for your time and for your attention. I'm going to go ahead and broadcast on my Facebook page as well, so give me a moment to get set up. As you are coming in to the broadcast, you can tell me where you are from and tell me something good about your day. Both of those would be helpful in a moment. I'm going live on my Facebook channel as well because I'm not doing my regular broadcast. Normally, we would be doing our reading on health and our reading on wealth. So I'm going to ask you to share this broadcast out because I have a few things I want to say that I feel that are necessary. And I'm going live now on my Facebook channel. Good morning, good morning, good morning again, and welcome to those of you who are going to be tuning in by Facebook today. We are still talking. This is a daring dialogue, but we are not doing our regular show on today. This is still a daring dialogue because where we are in America right now requires courage, it requires boldness, it requires self knowledge, it requires a soundness of mind. And why am I saying that? I'm saying this because in the last 48 to 72 hours, we have seen levels, unprecedented levels, or I would say pre-civil rights era levels of calls for violence against people who have committed no violence. We have seen people who have incited and stoked violence be lionized and turned into heroes and saints. And unfortunately, per historical record and example, we continue to have mainstream media outlets pushing propaganda to try to turn people who did not see other people's humanity at all into heroes. That's what's called propaganda. And unfortunately, a lot of people are falling for it. I'm like, all you have to do is just do a little bit of your own research rather than just turning on a news channel and letting them feed you with propaganda. This person's literal library of things that they have done and said is available for public scrutiny. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go actually listen to his words yourself. So how are we coming away from what we know to be true about this person to all of a sudden this person is being given some sort of sainthood, and people are being told how to respond to something. Okay? So the reality is the people who are pushing the violence are pushing violence towards people who have not committed any. I'm going to say that again. The people who are pushing for violence are pushing violence and inciting and wanting to incite violence against people who have not done any violence to anyone. So let's be very clear about what is happening and what is going on. Yesterday, I was literally right around the corner from the Naval Army, the Naval Academy shooting. Okay? I got the alert on my phone. People standing on the streets got the alert on their phone. People started scrambling because they told us to, go for cover or get to the nearest place to shelter in place. That was yesterday. My colleagues and I ran to a garage where our vehicles were located, got in our vehicles, and sped away and got out of the vicinity as quickly as we could so that we would not be caught in the lockdown that was about to go down with helicopters flying overhead. So I'm not talking about this today from some, the safety of whatever. People are ratcheting up by their vileness towards other human beings. They are inciting violence. And good morning to those of you who are just now coming in. But this is ridiculous. If you want to live in a world where you have to run for cover because you don't know at any moment who's going to lose it, if you want to live in a world where you're consistently getting alarms on your phone about take cover because somebody yet is trying to enact a mass pew pew, then don't be in my space. Don't come in my space. Okay? Because I'm up here with the nonsense that I'm seeing and hearing from people. I don't want that in my space. I don't need that in my space. Okay? And so what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to turn anybody into a hero that was not a hero. And I'll say it again because I said it on my page earlier yesterday. Black empathy is a powerful energy. People look to and want to turn to Black people to see how we're responding a lot of times to things, to take their cue as to how they will respond. And because many Black people are choosing not to engage in a conversation around how good a person was, that actually wished our entire community harm, that wished that we wouldn't have never gotten civil rights, that's insane. To ask us to show some level of sorrow for somebody who didn't even believe in our human rights, in civil rights, in equality. What are we even doing? What are we even asking for? I think that's insane. And if you're not looking for our advice, then why are you in my space? See, this is what I'm talking about. You could have kept scrolling. If you're allergic to Black people and Black women and you see me on the screen, keep scrolling. No one is forcing you to be here yet. We still have freedom of choice around social media. We still have freedom of choice around what we choose to listen to and what media we choose to consume. Although our current media is turning into state media, state sanctioned media and propaganda. Anytime you have people trying to tell you how to feel about something, you are moving into state propaganda. Anytime you have people saying, we're gonna form a list of people who don't respond to something the way we want them to respond, and we're going to use that list as a way to retaliate against people who don't respond to something the way we want, you're moving into authoritarianism, totalitarianism. That's not democracy. Anytime you have death threats and bomb threats being launched toward entire colleges of students who had nothing to do with what happened in Utah, that's not a democracy. There was a lot of stuff going on yesterday, but I was, like I said, I was caught in the middle of one of those things, and that was the Naval Academy shooting issue. I didn't get home until close to 9 o'clock. So I want people to understand the time in which we are living, understand the day in which we are living, understand where we are right now in American political society. You have the supposed commander in chief, the same person who incited J6, the same person who pardoned the violence of J6. You have that same person now inciting violence, citizen to citizen. When you get on national TV or you get within the press and you say things like, we need to beat the so-called far left physically, that's inciting to violence. Good morning. That is inciting to violence. And yet, this is the same person that claimed they never incited to violence at J6. But here they are again, inciting citizens to violence against other citizens. This is not normal, people. It's not normal. And we should not normalize it. It's not normal, and we should not normalize it. I'm going to say it one more time. It's not normal, and we should not normalize it. So what happens when people go and carry out violence against other citizens, claiming they are far left? And then they turn around and say, well, the president said I could do it. He gonna pardon them too? This is where we are. It should concern you, but if you're not Black, I get it. I get it. You don't see a problem with it. Some of you don't see a problem with it. Some of you cannot recognize the same pattern that when a Black person was accused of something in the past, that a white mob of people came to a town and unalived everybody in the town because of an accusation that was never proven. Y'all can't see the connection between that and threats to HBCU students. Y'all can't see that. That because of a accusation, white mobs would get together and go to towns, all Black towns or mainly Black towns or mainly Black parts of town, and unalive people, burn their things down, have people running for their life out of their town, leaving everything the way it was, leaving everything at the drop of a hat, and then they would take over those people's property and land, but y'all can't see the connection. Okay. And there's certain people I'm not going to engage with on this topic because the reality is you don't know enough. Go study, go read some more books, go study up on white Christian nationalism, understand how white Christian nationalism twists the gospel and is in fact anti-Black. They use scriptures too. Okay. This is a topic that I've been studying for 20 years. So I recognize when the gospel is being twisted. And the same people, the same attitudes, the same behaviors that can allow somebody to go to church on Sunday and right after Sunday go lynch Black people, that same attitude and behavior and spirit is what we have going on in America right now. These are the same people that will lift their hands and say, "Hallelujah, Jesus," and will be sanctioning your demise later on in the afternoon. So we have to know that, okay? There's not enough space. There's not enough characters online on social media to get you that education. You got to read, you got to study. Nobody's going to teach you that in 180 characters, okay? And there are plenty of spaces that are actually actively teaching that. I suggest go enroll in some courses. There is plenty of historical scholars right now out here literally teaching on this. Dr. Jamar Tisby is one of them. He's teaching on the history of white Christian nationalism and how it has permeated Christian spaces. Okay. So yes, I was in the midst of the Naval Academy shooting yesterday and had to get out of the line and get out of the way of what was going on. I do not want to live in an America where that is the norm, where every time you look up, you're getting some kind of announcement on your phone that there's an active shooter in your area and you need to bunker down. That's not the kind of America I want to live in. That's not the kind of America we should normalize. That's not the kind of America we should be satisfied with. But people can feel how they want to feel about what has gone down and what has occurred. Like I said, and I continue to say on my pages, I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm not here to convince you how to feel. But I do deal in facts. And there's enough evidence documented by the person themselves. It's not anybody doctoring footage. There's enough evidence that this person was causing harm. And so people feel a way, and people are allowed to feel a way about someone who is causing harm. And if they don't feel like they need to grieve that, then that is their choice. That is their choice. All right. I want to encourage people today to make time to reach out to the people that are around you, check on the people that are in your life, make sure that they are okay, make sure that they're doing okay. I'm very thankful that I had people that were checking on me because they knew that I was in Annapolis on yesterday, that I had gone there to do some business and some work. So I am thankful that there were people that said, "Hey, are you okay? Are you all right? Call us when you get in." We're living in a moment where people are specifically feeling that, hey, I could go home, I could go out there in the world today, and I might not make it back tomorrow. And now, unfortunately, we have a president who is now calling for violence against other citizens. And I repeat, this is not normal, and we should not normalize it. We shouldn't normalize it. You had the incident also that people are talking about out of North Carolina with the gentleman um, who stabbed the woman from the Ukraine. And people are saying, what about this? What about this? He's going to be punished. If there's one thing that our justice system makes sure of, they make sure that Black people get punished for their crimes. They make sure that they get captured, and they make sure that they get punished. And it is likely, because it was unfortunate, that she died in the way that she did. She didn't deserve that. And again, anybody who's going around saying that she deserved it, stay off my page. We don't do that. We don't do that here. But it's clear that this man had a diagnosed mental illness, was released several times, and he should never have been released. He should have been in somebody's institution receiving treatment for mental illness. Instead, he was released upon the public 13 different times. That is a systemic failure. And that woman unfortunately paid for it with her life. So there's no way, hopefully nobody is rejoicing in that. But let's call a thing what it is. You have a failure of a system to actually treat the person that needed treatment. And because of that, someone is dead. And again, I don't need to see snuff footage. I don't need to see snuff footage of Kirk. I don't need to see snuff footage of the Ukrainian woman. I don't need to see snuff footage of George Floyd. I don't need to see snuff footage of Tamir Rice. I can just keep naming, because we have an obsession with the gruesomeness of a crime. I don't need to see it to know that it's wrong. I don't need to see it to know that somebody's life being taken in that manner is wrong. So I don't care who you are. I don't want to see that kind of footage. I don't want it on my page. I don't want it dropped as a random link in my comments. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the person's family. And unfortunately, again, some people don't get that. Common sense would tell you, if you were unalived and it was caught on video and your family is grieving you, would you want that footage out there for everybody to be replaying it over and over and over and over again while your family is grieving you? Common sense would say, no, I wouldn't want that. Yet here we are. Yet here we have people that can't seem to find common sense anywhere. Anywhere. And so, yes, there are some things that I don't agree with. There are some things that do not sit well with me. And one of them is parading people's death footage like it is your local movie scene. I don't go for that. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever. So if you drop that stuff in my comment section, I'm going to delete and block you permanently. It's not going to be a discussion around it. I'm not going to come down there and say, hey, I think you shouldn't do that. No, because I'm saying it right now. And I have it posted at the top of my Facebook page, things that will get you blocked, is featured at the top of my page. And so if you haven't read it, I want you to go read things that would get you blocked on my page. Because there's certain conversations I'm not going to continue to have. Y'all not going to wear me out. Nope, I'm not doing it. You're not going to exhaust me repeating over and over and over again. To me, what I see as basic human decency. But I do understand and I do recognize that in this moment, we have a president that does not abide by basic human decency. So we must. You have to have the strength and integrity and the character within yourself to abide by basic human decency. That's got to be up to you. That's got to be up to you. So, as I said, normally we would be reading this book, Live Nourished, Make Peace with Food, Banish Body Shame, and Reclaim Joy. It's a book on increasing your diet in healthy ways, understanding your body. And we would be reading Moving Beyond Broke, The Power of Perseverance in Personal Finance. These are the books that we normally read on Friday. So next Friday, we'll get back to the reading. But today, I want people to seriously stop and think about your behaviors. Stop and think about whether or not you are buying into some propaganda. Stop and think. Ask yourself, what do I know about white Christian nationalism? What do I really know about it? Why is white Christian nationalism in America being passed off as Christianity when it's not? It uses Christianity, certainly. It uses the Bible, certainly. But if you look at the teachings of Christ, you know that what they believe runs contrary to the literal teachings of Christ. So, again, I highly recommend Dr. Jamar Tisby's work on white Christian nationalism. I believe he is running a course right now on it. Desiree B. Stevens is also here. She focuses on liberation education. She dives into the tenets of white supremacy. Dr. Stacy Patton has done some work around it. She is a journalist. All right. So I want you to listen to, and I want you to check out people who are doing the work, doing the studies, who are providing resources, who are providing source information so you can go back and look at it and take a look at it and read for yourself. All right. This has been another episode of Daring Dialogues, and I've been your host today, Shantae Charles. I want to thank you for your time and for your attention. If you're listening by Facebook, I want to thank you for your time and attention. Take care, be well, and most importantly, be light. All right. I don't know if Pastor Ben is here or not this morning. I don't see him in the comment section. Good morning, Shantae. How are you today? Good morning, Seven Ken Sato fan DISLY. How are you doing today? Let's see who we have. Okay, you're here. All right. I'll make sure that I send you the connecting link in just a moment. Okay. All right. Let me do that. All right, Pastor, I have gone ahead and sent you the connecting link. Good morning. Can you hear us? Good morning. We can see you. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear us?
The
The,
volume is
vo- the
very low.
volume is very low.
Is this better? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
That's better.
That's better.
Okay.
That's better.
That's
Good
better.
morning. I will admit I am a little bit frustrated this morning. I am. And I'm frustrated because I'm finding black people trying to come into my space and defend what is indefensible. I don't know where they're getting their information from. I don't know what school they went to. I don't know what videos they're looking at, but there is nothing defensible about Mr. Kirk and his goal and mission of anti-blackness and anti-humanity except for everyone who looked like him and believed like he did. And it's very concerning because these people
Mm-hmm.
keep saying, well, he was a Christian and I heard him preach the gospel several times. I'm like, what gospel?
Mm-hmm.
What gospel? I'm like, are we living in two alternate universes?
Yes.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Listen,
Listen,
people like that, I
people like
straighten
that, I
them out.
straighten them out.
I don't
So
have
I
the
do.
I
patience
do.
for it.
Well, I do.
Well, I do.
And you know why? You know why I don't? Because to me, that person has got to sit through a course that delivers truth, and they've got to go through a process of decolonizing, and I don't have time to address that in a paragraph on social
Well,
Well,
let me
let me
rephrase my
rephrase my
statement.
statement.
media.
I
I
attempt
attempt
to straighten
to
them out.
straighten them out.
I come with
I
the
come with the
facts.
facts.
I give them
I
what
give them
Christ
what
taught,
Christ taught,
and then I
and
show
then I
them what
show
He
them what
taught.
He taught.
Can you see
Can
the
you see the
difference?
difference?
They cannot.
No, they
No,
can't.
they
They're
can't. They're
religious minded.
religious minded.
And that's why I say I cannot. You would have to pay me to do the deep level of teaching that would be needed to bring you out of the mindset that this person was a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Because that to me is some very deeply embedded indoctrination that would make you look at his life and think that he was a Christian and that he died for the cause of Christ. Because I have actually posted some things that people have said. I blocked them, but I screenshot it and I'm posting it because I want people to understand these people have made him into a martyr. They
Mm-hmm.
literally think that he was some sort of sign for the Christians to rise up and attack other people that don't believe that they believe like they believe. And I said, this is not Christianity. This is like Knights Templar,
Mm-hmm.
Crusader Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a black person saying, well, he was a Christian, I'm going to need you to know the difference between Crusader Christianity and teachings of Christ because they are not the same.
Well,
Well, let's say
Crusader
Crusader
religion.
religion.
That too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
Christianity is
Christianity is
basically
basically
following the
following
teachings
the
of
teachings
Christ.
of Christ.
That's the
That's the
basis of it.
basis of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're
But when you're
actually
actually
teaching
teaching
things that go
things that go
directly
directly
against what
against
Christ
what
taught,
Christ taught,
how can you be
how
a
can you be a
Christian?
Christian?
That's like an
That's like an
oxymoron.
oxymoron.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go
Don't
together.
go
It don't
together. It
work.
don't work.
Anyone who says the civil rights movement was a mistake and we shouldn't have the rights we have now is clearly anti-black,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and you defending someone who would not have even wanted you to have rights is cognitive dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like
Yes.
Yes.
I don't even know what to say about that. Clearly, no one deserves to get unalived in the way that he did. So let's take that off the table. Nobody, well, I will say that
It's one
I
of the
It's
things.
know,
one of the things.
no one that I know is saying, oh, he deserved to be unalived in that way. What I'm saying is, you are expecting a level of empathy, sympathy, and compassion for someone who didn't even believe in those things when it came to you. That is cognitive dissonance.
Listen,
Listen,
he
he
said
said
empathy
empathy was
was
a
a
made
made
up
up
word.
word.
All
It
words
It
are
doesn't
made
doesn't
up.
exist.
exist.
All words are made up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
But he
also
also
said
said
that we should
that we
bring
should
back
bring back
public
public
execution.
execution.
He did.
Yes.
Yes.
And he
And
was
he was
publicly
publicly
executed.
executed.
He was.
So
So
I'm looking at
I'm
it
looking
like
at it like
this.
this.
He's spoken
He's
into
spoken into
existence for
existence for
himself.
himself.
Unfortunately, he did.
The
Unfortunately, he
The
power of the
did.
power of the
tongue.
tongue.
He never got a chance. He didn't live long enough to understand the errors of his ways. He didn't live long enough to reform his own mind and thinking while he was
Hmm.
trying to indoctrinate others into his way of thinking. Now, I don't have to feel any kind of way about that. This is what I need people to understand.
Right.
So right. Coming into people's spaces and trying to tell them how to feel about something, that is problematic. I'm not here to tell anybody how to feel about him. What I am here to say is, if you look at what his words did, his words brought harm to people.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So don't expect the people's whose words his words were harming, don't expect them to suddenly turn around and feel all of this loss and emotion for somebody who was literally causing harm to be sent their way. I was reading yesterday about the professor and the educator list that he had started, where they were putting teachers and journalists and professors' names on a list, and people were going to attack those people and dox them based on his list. So he was inciting violence. He was encouraging people to, hey, go attack these people. So to come today to make it like he was some peace loving person is just patently false. That's all. It's false. And I don't take too well to falsehoods being dropped in my comment section.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to
Hmm.
block you. That's all.
Well, see,
Well, see,
listen,
listen.
we are the
We are
people
the
that they
people that they
expect
expect
to just
to just
accept
accept
anything.
anything.
I don't know why,
You
because
know,
we
You know,
we,
never
we
had
are
we
those
are
those.
those
people
people
that they'll
that
stick a
they'll stick
mic
a
in our
mic in our
face
face
after a
after
loved
a
one has
loved
been
one has been
unalived
unalived
and ask us
and
if
ask
we
us
can
if we can
forgive those
forgive those
people.
people.
They won't do
They
that to
won't do that to
anybody else
anybody
but
else
us.
but us.
So it's
So
like
it's like
we're not
we're
supposed
not
to
supposed to
have any
have any
feelings.
feelings.
We're supposed to
We're
just
supposed to just
go
go
along, and
along,
whatever
and whatever
happens to
happens
us,
to us
it's supposed to
is
be
supposed to be
glossed over and
glossed over
okay.
and okay.
I don't
I
feel
don't
one
feel
way or
one
the
way or
other
the other
about Kurt,
about Kurt,
what happened
what
to him.
happened to him.
The way it
The way
happened
it
to him,
happened to him,
that
that I may have a problem.
Your screen is frozen. There you go.
But
Yeah.
again, he was a public person to return. You know, while yes,
yes,
I have
I have
compassion for his
compassion for his
family
family
because
because
now his
now his
children
children
are in the
are in the
position
position that
he's
he's
been
been claiming
claiming
all
all
black
black
families
families
are
are
in.
in.
They're raised without a father.
And some people would argue that because of the rhetoric and the things that he was spewing, they might actually be better with him not there.
Yeah,
Depending on
the perspective that people are looking at. We do know, reportedly, that the family was flown in to meet with the president and the VP. And I told someone, I said, more than likely, because now she is the tragic widow, right? More than likely, they're going to support her. She's going to be supported. She's going to be taken care of. The kids ain't going to miss no meals because white supremacy supports its
Mm-mm.
own. So more than likely, they will make her the figurehead of the organization to continue it, and then they'll have some other people in there actually running the operation to keep it going. But they're not going to miss a meal.
Nope.
Nope.
Whereas, how many widows of black men who have been unalived and assassinated by our government? How many of them were supported and undergirded and all those things and made sure that they were taken care of? If they were supported and undergirded, most of the time it was through the support of the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be honest about the fact that this mechanism that he founded, Turning Point USA, that mechanism is going to go on. They're not gonna let that mechanism drop the ball because it was too instrumental in helping him to gain the white Christian nationalist male vote.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say it was also likely involved in black MAGA. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
when I see black MAGA show up in my spaces, I'm not engaging black MAGA at all. I don't have the patience for it. Somebody else, that might be your calling, that might be your ministry, but it's not mine. So I know what my limitations are.
Well, you
Well,
know
you know
what I
what
say
I say
MAGA
MAGA
stands
stands
for?
for?
Man
Man
against
against
God
God
always.
always.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
Because that's
exactly what's
exactly what's
happening.
happening.
They think
They
they're
think
going
they're
against
going against
everybody, but they're
everybody, but
actually
they're
going
actually
against
going against
God.
God.
You're going
You're
against
going against
everything that
everything that
Christ taught.
Christ taught.
You're
You're
using God's
using God's
name
name
to
to
cause
cause
harm,
harm,
to
to
divide,
divide,
and to
and
cause
to
hate.
cause hate.
And God
And
will
God
defend
will
his
defend his
name,
name,
which is what
which
I
is what
believe
I
happened
believe
in this
happened in this
situation.
situation.
That's what I
That's what
believe.
I believe.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
um,
um,
God will
God
defend
will
his
defend
name.
his name.
He will
He
do
will
that.
do that.
Think of all
Think
the
of all the
damage
damage
that this
that
did
this
to
did to
people
people
when it comes
when
to
it comes to
God.
God.
Him
Him
using God's
using God's
name
name
to
Mm-hmm.
spew
to spew
hatred.
hatred.
See, you're
See, you're
turning people
turning people
away from
away
God.
from God.
You have
You
people
have people
questioning God.
questioning God.
And then you're
And then you're
drawing
drawing
people
people
away from
away from
God
God
when they may
when they
think you're
may think you're
drawing them
drawing
to
them
Him
to Him
Mm-hmm.
because you're
because
using
you're
His
using
name.
His name.
Exactly. And that's why I gave the example. I'm like, listen, two things are happening right now historically that have historically happened. One, the media is promulgating propaganda
Hmm.
that is fueling attacks against black people. That is what is happening. These people are not being honest about who this person was. And now you have people believing that this was some sainted person that was unalived. And therefore, they're going and attacking people who are not responding the way they feel that they should respond
Hmm.
to this person being unalived. And the second part of that is, like I said, anytime something terrible would happen, a lot of times, even if it was on the scale of one black person being accused of something, but sometimes black people in their whole communities would just be blamed for something going wrong in in the community. And they would take that out on black people. And somebody said they couldn't see the correlation between bomb threats and death threats being made calls upon on HBCU campuses. I'm like, you can't see the connection? The connection has been with us all throughout history. Black people get blamed for stuff they had nothing to do with.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you don't
A
see the
red
A red
state.
connection?
state,
A red state. I
I
think
think
the
their
population
population
is
is
like
like
about
about
one
one
point
point
something
something
percent
percent
black
black
people.
people.
A
A
red
red
state.
state, predominantly white, in a predominantly white school, white town,
Town
at a
at a
predominantly
predominantly
white
white
college,
college,
and you
and you
blaming black
blaming black
people.
people.
Oh, a
A
white man
white man
killed him,
killed him,
but
but
somehow
somehow
you
you
find a
find
way
a way
to
to
blame black
blame
people.
black people.
Here's the
Here's
thing
the
with
thing
that.
with that.
You
You
want a
want
reason
a
to
reason
attack
to
black
attack black
people,
people.
bottom
Bottom
line.
line.
And you're
And you're
using any
using any
excuse you
excuse you
can.
can.
But let
But
me
let me
warn you,
warn you,
okay?
okay?
Heed my
Heed my
words.
words.
Come with
Come
it,
with
and a
it,
lot
and
of
a
you
lot
will
of you
lose your
will lose your
lives.
lives.
Because black
Because
people
black
ain't
people
just
ain't
sitting
just
on their
sitting on their
hands.
hands.
I've
I've
trained a
trained
lot
a
of them,
lot of them,
and the
and the
majority of those
majority
are
of those
women,
are women,
black
black
women, women
women,
of
women
color.
of color.
So
So
trust me,
trust me,
you ain't
you
gonna be
ain't gonna be
a lot of
a
them may
lot of
be
them may
weak,
be weak,
but I know a
but I know
whole
a
lot of
whole
them that
lot
are
of them that
not,
are not,
and they don't
and they
mind
don't
taking
mind
a
taking a
life
life
to
to
defend their
defend
own.
their own. So heed
So
that warning.
heed that warning.
Bottom
Bottom
line.
line.
I'm like, listen, black people knew what time it was November 2024.
Yes.
Yes.
We knew that when you guys, and I say you guys loosely, when people decided to bring back this man for the second time, we knew what time it was then. Collectively, black people said, we ain't getting out here. We not gonna be provoked. They want us to be provoked to violence so that they can turn that around and say, see, look at these violent, monstrous animal people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take them down. Okay? We didn't give them that satisfaction. And because we didn't give them that satisfaction, every month it seems like they trying a new flavor of provocation. I might even post about
Mm-hmm.
that. Every month it's a new flavor of provocation. And because we continue to not deal with and not be provoked and not take the bait, they're just keep upping the ante every single month. That's what they've been doing. Up in the ante, up in the ante. Okay, we can't get them out for protests, up the ante. Okay, we can't get them out for arresting, the congresswomen and stuff, up the ante. Okay, we're holding a congresswoman hostage, up the ante. Do you understand now? They're okay. We'll send the troops to the black cities, up in the ante. Now you're doing bomb threats at HBCUs. If you don't know how to make the connection between that, this is why I said that's a whole course I would need to teach, and you're gonna have to pay me for that. If you don't know how to make the connection between all of this and understand why black people are not taking the bait, you need a course for that. But this has been all our lives. And if it haven't been all our lives, it's been the lives of our parents. It's been the lives of our grandparents who sat us down and
Mm-hmm.
talked to us about the realities of the civil rights movement. So some of us recognize the play. We recognize the plays and we're not falling for it. And now because we're
Mm-hmm.
not falling for it, it's just gonna be just go out and do harm. That's where we're at now. To where he's actually online saying, "Oh, go out and beat the double hockey sticks out of the leftists," which is another code word, by the way, of saying black people. Okay, he he's not talking about white people when he says extreme leftists. That's code for go beat up black people. We know what it is. We know what it is. So we know what it is. It's like, don't play in our face. Don't gaslight us. We know what is going on. You want to unalive and you want to eliminate black people. And you want to do it because every time you look at us, we are a living memory of your savagery. We are a living reminder that you owe something that you have not paid yet. And you think that erasing the memory of us is going to make you still not have a cosmic debt that you got to pay. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what this is about, as Gregory, what's his name, Dick Gregory would say. So that's what this is about. So that's what this is about. Let's be clear about what this is about. This is about the fact that you want to eliminate black people, but you can't quite do it yet in a way
Mm-hmm.
that won't cause the American people to turn against you altogether. So you got the little you got to sneak and do this, and you got to poke here, and you got to prod there, and you got to set the conditions so that people see black people as the enemy, as the murderous animals who deserve to be erased. And because we're not playing into those tropes, you can't set up the elimination scenario the way that you want to set it up. That's what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
So miss me with the I don't understand why y'all not showing whatever, whatever, whatever. No, because we know what this is about.
Yeah.
Go play in somebody else's face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind, not stupid.
They do seem to confuse the two.
Clearly, every day somebody calls into question my intelligence. I just don't pick up the phone. I just don't pick up the phone. So yeah, I mean, hey, they haven't been listening to black women. What would make them start now?
No, you're right. They haven't been listening to black women, but they've been using black women
Mm-hmm.
to accomplish what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And black women are now saying, black women are now putting their hand up there and saying, we ain't doing this no more.
And that's on both sides. Let's be clear too. Because like I
Mm-hmm.
posted today, people, I was like, no, some of the most racist people I've had to deal with are people who said they have voted for Obama twice. So you don't get no cookies
Mm-hmm.
either. You don't get no cookies either.
Mm-mm. Because some racists realized that he was good for the country actually.
Mm-hmm.
So they voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't change how they felt about him
Mm-hmm.
or black people at all. It didn't change that.
Mm-hmm.
They just became human for a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and say, listen, this is the best person for the job.
Mm-hmm. But
But they'll say that
also let's be clear
those don't.
that on his watch there was a spike in black males being unalived because
Mm-hmm.
that anger had to go into something. It had to be projected into something.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with this whole backlash against black women. All of that backlash, the backlash against black women right now is because we dared to back, we dared to support, we dared to dream of holding the office of the president.
Mm-hmm.
As Dick Gregory would say, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You used your energy, your collective energy, to want to lift this black woman into the presidency. And so now we got to make you pay for that. Because how dare you think that one of you all could be in that office? That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Pastor Ben, you still there? You're frozen for right now. You might need to pop out and come back in. But this is our conversation for today. I hope I have said something that was insightful. That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Oh, somehow I just got just lost the connection.
Oh, I was saying that the reason why we see this animus happening with black women is because we dared to think that we could elevate a black woman to the highest office in the land. And so now we got to make you pay for that assumption, because how dare you think that we would let a black woman hold this office? And so, yeah, it is retaliation that's happening. It is. It is retaliation for supporting Kamala, that they went straight for the jobs of black women.
Mm-hmm.
That is retaliation. That is political retaliation. That they decided to remove and unseat black women from positions of power in federal government. That is retaliation. That's what it's about, as Dick Gregory would say.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to decimate you economically because you use your economics to fuel her campaign. That's what it's about. So we've got to cripple you in that area so that the next time you go to help her, you're not as strong as you were before. That's what it's about. You got to know the games that people are playing.
Mm-hmm.
Final thoughts.
Ooh. Here's the thing. Anybody over, I would say about 35, 40, you should be used to the playbook by now.
Mm-hmm.
They use the same plays over and over and over. They don't change it.
Mm-hmm.
They may run the play a little different way, put a little tweak to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the same play.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up.
Yeah.
Recognize it's a play. It's
And
that same sweep to the right
it is
in
the same.
football terms, the same sweep to the right. They're doing it every play. They may give you a motion to the left, but they're going to sweep it to the right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Hello to those coming in. We are actually getting ready to sign off. And this video, because YouTube scrutinizes every single word I say, this video is not going to process until tonight, and it will be available Saturday morning. But yeah, I mean, for a creator that has 1,000 subscribers, YouTube takes 24 hours to process every single video I put up. That should tell you something. It is never immediately available. All right. This has been another episode of Daring Dialogues, and I've been your host today, Shantae Charles. I want to thank you for your time and attention. We have been talking today about the Navy Academy shooting. We talked a little bit about the Kirk situation and the ideology grounding him, and the response and reaction from people around the world, particularly in the black community. We talked about today about the threats on towards HBCU campuses and how legacy of anti-blackness, bigotry, and prejudice consistently has a through line historically. So make sure you save this broadcast so that you can come back and catch it tomorrow morning in its fullness. I want to thank you for your time and attention. Remember, light is the most daring opposition to darkness. So continue to go out and be what, Pastor Ben?
Like.
Light. Take care, everyone. Be well, and most importantly, be light. We'll be back on Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our series Christ Visible Life.